I'm here with Michelle Ochs of Ochs. We are going to be discussing her journey and talking about the brand, and I'm so excited to chat with her today. Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you, and honestly, nice to meet you. I feel like I already know you just like through social media. How did you become a female entrepreneur?
Well, I came from an entrepreneurial background, and I always wanted to do fashion. I knew I wanted to do something with my hands, like to build something, to go from 2D to 3D. That was always something that I was very interested in. I began my career 15 years ago. I came straight from high school to New York. I'm from Maryland.
Okay.
It seems close to New York, but at the time it seemed like worlds away. I went to Parsons School of Design, graduated in 2007, Designer of the Year. I began my brand shortly thereafter.
How did you go from being in school to creating a brand?
Well, what was really interesting, the support system that Parsons has. So
Yes.
There was an amazing panel there who come to judge your senior thesis, and Linda Fargo was on that panel. She still currently is at Bergdorf Goodman, and she was a great supporter. She saw my senior thesis, and after winning Designer of the Year, I spoke with her about my plans and what I was thinking about launching my brand, and they were the first store to pick us up.
Did you always know that you wanted to be a designer? I feel like so many people go into fashion and they're like, oh, I want to, work at a magazine, or I want to be a stylist, and then it kind of evolves. At least that's kind of what happened to me. Did you always know from the beginning that you wanted to be a designer? Like going into Parsons, did you have that intention set that you wanted to be a designer?
I knew I wanted to work in a creative field, that I wanted to work with my hands. I didn't necessarily think that that would mean being a fashion designer. And as I got older, I was drawn to like the aesthetic of everything, but there wasn't really like a path forward there. Everything has come very naturally in one foot and in the other. At Parsons, I honed my skills and knew that this is something that I wanted to do.
Do you feel like that was easy right out of college?
I look back on the experience very fondly. I also have a young daughter, and if she took my path, I would be terrified. I can only imagine now how my mother felt. But I was very determined. I was very clear and had a direction and a plan when I came to New York. If you have that passion and you put your time and your effort to it and you lead from your passion, everything kind of falls into place.
So tell me about starting at Ochs.
It was in 2008, launched my brand, and it was like now in 2023, probably not the best economic period, but it allowed my business and myself to grow in a very nimble way. It allowed us to build the business the way we wanted, to make those mistakes, to grow slowly but also smart. We took that time, and as things economically were getting better, we had already starting to establish our name, and it just skyrocketed from there.
Would you say social media has played a role in the growth of your business?
This is very interesting. We're doing this interview now. Social media has helped dramatically. I started my career 15 years ago, and it didn't exist, especially when I started my brand. I remember hearing about Instagram and being like, do you think this is gonna be a thing? I think we should just get our name for it, just in case. And now I can't imagine a world without it.
How do you feel like social media has played a role in helping designers?
Well, social media leveled the playing field for everyone. It democratized fashion or access to people or your community, and it's great to build your own community and not have to rely on kind of the traditional methods of media where that was always gatekept.
Yes.
It's great for any business owner, any creative, to get your voice, your product out there. It also is a very stressful and a different kind of pressure.
One thing I really love about Ochs is that you have really a piece for every single style aesthetic. I just really feel like you fit into the mold of so many different types of women. How would you describe the woman that you design for?
The woman I design for is feminine and strong. I really focus on the female body, her life, how she's dressing, what she needs to wear it for, how comfortable she needs to be. I don't focus on age, and I do want it to live in your wardrobe. That's why so much of the collection is built on one another, because I want these to live beyond just moments. So much of just remembering my childhood is like pieces that your mother had or pieces that can be passed on. I need my clothes to do a lot of things. I need to be able to dress it up, dress it down. I need to have that stretch in it because we're women. And
Yeah.
so I do think that there is an advantage to being a female designer designing for women.
I love that. And honestly, I agree. I think so many of your pieces have so much versatility and longevity in your wardrobe. You of course have some trendier styles. Even your trendier styles feel very timeless. And I just love that about your brand. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you for the collection for spring.
I was looking at very 90s references. I know
Yes.
it's of the moment now. I wanted it to be cherry. We were looking at special denim pieces, elevating the denim, not
Yes.
just a typical denim jean. We have here the crystallized denim, which is very harkening back on the 90s designer denim.
I love these. They're amazing.
This is hand embroidered crystals that were done in India on a Japanese indigo denim,
Wow.
which is actually on the reverse side. This is actually the true side of the denim.
Oh, wow.
So it's a little bit of showing the specialness, bringing the inside outside.
Hitting on what you said about dressing for the female form, I think you do such an impeccable job on that, especially with the stitching and the way that you just master all of the designs. I also really love that you add in cutouts, but you do it in a really beautiful way. Talk a little bit about how you make cutouts something that feels feminine and classic and still comfortable, because I know so many women aren't comfortable with cutouts.
It's funny you mentioned cutouts
Yes.
because I built my career on cutouts.
Right.
Dubbed the queen of cutouts. So I worked a lot with cutouts,
Yes.
and it has evolved over time. It was a silhouette that wasn't really being done when I started, but it's always been about the body and how you can highlight the form. There are still some cutouts, and whether we layer it with lace or in this black mini dress, we have it as an overlay, and it's just hints of skin. That's always been in the DNA. Even in the dress I'm wearing, it's a mini dress. You can wear it out for a cocktail, but I've layered it with a button-down shirt, but it's got the little
Love
cutout
it.
here. And I always want to make sure our woman is comfortable and that it's in the right place and everything's staying in place.
Yes.
That is so important.
What advice can you give someone like me who's a female entrepreneur just getting started, whether they're a designer or just an entrepreneur in the space? What advice can you give?
Don't be afraid to ask. So early in my career, I was so young when I started, I was either intimidated or like afraid to ask. Just talking to peers.
Yeah.
I think people are so more willing to give advice, and if they say no, you're not in any different place than you were before you asked the question. I think putting yourself out there, asking, talking to peers, it's so important. You'll be surprised with connections you make.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry.
I mean, look, we just connected like that. Like, it's so easy. It's just
I think
meet
just
nice people.
I like followed your journey. Like I've been.
I followed your journey.
No.
I can't believe you quit. I was like, oh my God.
When I was in fashion school myself, I really looked up to what you were doing. You were one of the first like young female designers that I was privy to and like knew about. And so just having like a very full circle moment right now of getting to like just talk to you is just really special, and I just feel very thankful. So thank you for being here.
It's full circle for me. I feel old now. Like I'm doing TikToks with it. And you know what? That's when you know you're doing something right. When something feels full circle. If you're doing the right thing, it falls into place.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, and it sounds very hippie.
For me, I started this business at 30. I thought when I turned 30, like I was like, oh, like I've had 10 years in the industry. Nothing's happened for me in a way that feels important or like that I'm super passionate about. Not realizing that all of those steps that I was taking was leading me to what I'm doing now. I never thought that I would be in a moment like this with someone like you. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining me today and chatting with me. It was so wonderful to hear about your collection. I'm also really excited about your fall collection. I know we didn't chat a lot about it, but I read all about what's going on. Your inspiration, from what I hear, inspired by like going back to work and women feeling empowered after COVID. I'm really excited to see the fall collection come out. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to like and subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it.